Arobo Ako, Area Director of the Year 2023-2024. I haven't said congratulations, even if, I should have said it a long time ago, but it's still fresh.
Mhm.
Congratulations, sis.
Thank you.
So we'll go right to it. It's an interview stroke discussion. So we're going to have fun. Congratulations on your leadership award. The first question is, what motivated you to take on the role of area director? And what do you consider your greatest accomplishment during your term?
Mm.
Spill.
First of all, thank you for the congratulations, albeit belated. I've already basked in that euphoria and I've moved on from that. The thing is, I have been in that space a number of times with the Rookie of the Year and all of that, but I never got the district award. So this was huge for me. It was a big win for me and for the club. So thank you for that. My decision, let's see. My decision to take on the role of AD, that's area director, was driven by my passion for leadership development. And I'll say my commitment to continuous growth. Every year in my Toastmasters journey, I try to set a personal goal. And last year, the goal was for me to refine my leadership skills. And I did this, or I was going to do this by stepping beyond my club. So I had swam the club waters and I was looking forward to swimming deeper ponds while still making a meaningful impact at the district level. I really wanted to challenge myself in a larger arena, let's put it that way, without straying too far from my core strengths, which is helping my club, right? Additionally, working towards my distinguished Toastmaster, what we call the DTM designation or status, was also a motivating factor. And serving in district leadership is a key milestone for that journey. So you have to check that box off as well in the DTM journey. More importantly, I was eager to support clubs beyond my home club in fostering confidence, communication, and helping them grow pretty much, right? Your second question was about my accomplishments. So my greatest accomplishment during my term, it was for me, it wasn't about achieving goals, right? We can count the goals, which is good, but for me, it went way beyond that. It was about the relationships I built along the way. I cannot trade that for anything. The connections I formed with club leaders, club members, fellow area directors in my division, even the division directors, right? People I mentored, those relationships remain invaluable to me. I wouldn't, like I said, trade them for anything. Strengthening inter-club collaborations, helping struggling clubs regain momentum through a strategic mentorship of these clubs and its members, and just standing back and witnessing their transformation. All this together made the experience incredibly, deeply, remarkably rewarding for me.
What strategies did you implement to support clubs in your area, and how did you promote inter-club collaboration?
Hey. To support my clubs effectively in my area, I had four of them. I would say that I took a hands-on approach, right? I, again, stood back and I decided I will position myself as more than just an area director. So for me, it was about strategy. I became an active and invested member of each and every one of my clubs.
Hmm.
I fostered open and consistent communication. And I think I've said this before, but I always liken this experience to a mother nurturing her children, right? Ensuring that every club at every point in time knew that I was genuinely committed to their success. When they go to sleep at night, they have no doubt in their hearts that they had an area director who had their back at every point in time. Trust for me was the foundation of our relationship. They knew they could always count on me for guidance, whether it was stepping in at short notice to fill a role, promptly responding to inquiries, advocating on their behalf at the division or the district level. They could beat their chests and say that they had an AD who will step in. and it was for the good of the club. To strengthen interclub collaboration, I think that was the second half of your question. I implemented what I would call structured mentorship programs. I encouraged club officer training, participation, because it was important for the leadership to be strong, right? I say that it always cascades down. So the leadership, if the leadership is strong, you find that the club is strong as well. I facilitated joint meetings. I also organize speech contests and networking events for my clubs. And by doing this, I created opportunities for clubs to learn from one another, share their best practices, so how their meetings are run, build lasting connections with themselves as well. So they could always lean on each other for support, right? If you were struggling with numbers, you could invite another club to come help, strengthen your participation in the meeting. And that was the kind of relationship that me and my clubs had. By staying informed about district updates, I always did that. I always went into the district calendar to ensure that I knew of events that would help the clubs. I knew of upcoming things that the district had planned for the club so that no one was blindsided. Everyone knew what was coming. So let's just say that I served like a bridge between the clubs, the division, and the district. Uh, I think that's it. I ensured that my clubs remained engaged, well supported, and they were all empowered to thrive.
Thank you. You mentioned that you served as a bridge between the club, the division. The next question is, how did you approach club visits to provide value? And can you share an example of how you helped a struggling club improve? What was your biggest challenge? How did you overcome it? I know it's fully loaded, but it's all in
Yeah,
one.
that's a fully loaded question indeed. It's a long one. So club visits. When I did visit clubs, which I did very often, I know that during the Toastmasters training year, they say you visit at least twice, but I did more than twice because, like I mentioned, I was more or less a member of my clubs. So during visits, my approach was centered on understanding each club's unique challenges. So when I visited, I watched closely to know what were the struggles they were having. And I provided personalized support to help them thrive in those places where I felt they were struggling. If you know me, you know that one of my firm beliefs is in the Smedley, the founder of Toastmasters philosophy, where he says, we learn best in moments of enjoyment. I don't know if you've
Mhm.
heard that quotation before. I love it. So I focused on creating engaging and dynamic meeting experiences. I don't think anyone is going to want to be a part of a boring group
Mm.
or if you find a bunch of Toastmasters who are not interested, I wouldn't want to be a part of that. So that was where I had my focus. For instance, I worked with a struggling club to revamp the meetings by incorporating interactive formats similar to the themes that I have in my own club. So I brought all of those experiences to my clubs, making sessions more lively, more enjoyable, having fun themes for your meetings, how you do table topics. Do they even laugh? If I come and I notice that they're not laughing, they're not having engaging, fun meetings, I spot that and I say, no, no, it'll be nice that if we did this, we did learn, we took it seriously, but in a more relaxed environment, even if it was a corporate club, right? After all, no one wants to be part of a dull or a not engaging club or meeting, right? That's how I say it. So I ensure that I pass those values down to each and every one of my clubs. One of my biggest challenges was tackling declining membership in some clubs, not all of them. I was lucky to have most of my clubs thrive, but some of them did have this issue of declining membership. And to address this, I took time to actively promote open house events. I encourage guest participation. So I remember that there was this one time when I invited Molly Hamilton. I leveraged my relationships outside of that space to ensure that very fun and prominent Toastmasters came to visit sometimes in the clubs that I was in. Also leverage social media to increase visibility and attract new members. If you're going to do an open house, for instance, how are you leveraging the district social media? How are you leveraging the district calendar? What were you doing on social media, LinkedIn, your social media pages? Did they have updated websites? Was their information up to date on these platforms as well? So that if people wanted to track them down, was it easy enough? How soon were they responding to member inquiries online? I needed to know all of this information so that I knew where the issues were coming from. So these were some of the places that I paid attention to. I also let them know that it was very, very important to have and to foster a welcoming and energetic club environment. When you have guests, how do they feel? Do you welcome them? Do you smile at them? Do you take their contact details? Do you follow up on these people? So I really, really took my time to put myself, to emerge and submerge myself in their processes. And this really did help in a lot of ways, right? We were able to reignite enthusiasm in some of these clubs and strengthen member retention to an extent, not too much. It worked a little.
I like that. It worked a little.
Yes.
Around effective communication, how did
Yeah.
you maintain effective communication between clubs and district leadership? And what networking strategies did you use to foster community?
Hmm. Communication was really big for me on this journey. I maintain clear communication through regular email updates. As I mentioned earlier, I was always on the district website because I needed to know what was news. I didn't want them finding out things on their own or finding out and then I had no idea. I always wanted them to know that they could come to me to get all that information. So I had regular email updates where I would send so I would have primary contact with the president, the president, and the VP of education, right? So the president and the VP ed were actually my primary contacts. So I will email them. I ensured that they had my phone number, my direct line, so that if they wanted to text me or call me directly, I was always, always available to them. And I always told them, if I don't respond immediately, just be sure that I will respond to you at some point when I get your message or when it's convenient. But I maintained a 24-hour at least response time, even to their emails as well. We connected sometimes through WhatsApp, checking calls with club leaders. I used to have town halls. I didn't want them to be too much because already they had so much on their plates, right? But I let them know that even if we don't have a town hall, feel free to email me with whatever questions or issues you have. Call me up if you need to, and I would always be there to give you feedback. I leveraged on my mentor relationships as well. I had, for instance, Christina Cruz, Marcy Field, there was Vesna as well, and I had all those people to guide me on this journey as well to support my clubs the most I could. Networking wise, I built strong relationships by attending district events. I was always in those events, always. I never missed any. I encouraged cross-club participation. So I always encourage my clubs, visit other clubs, go out and see what other people are doing so that if there's anything that you feel you can take back with you to your own clubs that would help, you can see those as well. And then they can also come to your own club. In this journey, I've learned that you really cannot do it alone, right? You need to leverage those networks, those people that you've met along the journey. So I really did encourage them to do that. And, connecting members with mentors across different clubs, I found that that really helped as well. And the members were able to challenge themselves. So we still connect. It's I don't know if anyone else does that, but I still feel like a member of this club. So they still reach out to me to help them do, for instance, contests now. Contest season is on. I get emails asking if you want to come over, do you want to be a speaker, do you want to help us judge, timer, ballot, whatever it is, right? The relationship we've built is so strong that they still think they can reach out to me and I will still be there to help them. So that's how good communication was between us.
Amazing. Now to leadership skills and advice. The question is, which leadership skill or which leadership skills, plural, were crucial to your success, and what advice would you give to incoming area directors?
Skills. I I can boast of one of my strengths, and that is I'll call it my relatability. But for the purpose of this interview today, I would call it interpersonal intelligence. So that's the ability for you to be amiable, friendly, approachable. And that really went a long way to help me succeed on this journey as an area director. Even being adaptable, right? You have to be open to change, what the corporate world would call agility. You're agile. Anything can happen at any time. They might need you to hop in for a meeting. Meanwhile, you have other plans, right? How well can you respond to this, even if the response is not what they want to hear? Strategic thinking, you have to plan yourself way ahead of time. When are you visiting? Are they expecting you? What roles do you want to take on? All of that comes into play on this area director journey, right? Even mentorship, it was also a key to my success as area director. To incoming area directors, my advice to them will be simple.
Mhm,
I would ask that they lead with empathy. Empathy
mm,
is key. Be proactive in your approach to whatever it is your goals are,
mhm,
right? And cultivate a spirit of collaboration. How do you bring people together? How do you
mm,
leverage the network and relationships that you have? Sometimes leading is not just about being at the top, right? It's about creating other leaders and giving them that opportunity to shine as well. The role of an area director is not just to oversee, but to empower people and to uplift them. Build strong relationships with the club leaders and members. Attend their events when you're invited. Show genuine interest in their growth. People will know when you're genuine. If you're not, they would also sense that. They will know that you're just there for the accolades or for the name of being an area director. But if you genuinely care, you would exude that persona and they will be drawn to you. Trust is earned through consistent support. For every time that you keep to your word, for every time that you
mhm,
show that you're there to support them,
mhm,
honest communication, that's where trust comes from. Don't hesitate to ask questions when you're unsure. Ask them. Don't act like because you're an area director, you should know everything. No, you're also learning. So show that vulnerability. Ask questions. Uh, be both a mentor and a mentee. Also learn from people and always be receptive of help when it's offered, right? Responsiveness and timeliness are crucial. You have to be there to respond to inquiries, to queries. Just being there, like I said, like a mother, being there for her kids, right? You need to be dependable. Being present and engaged strengthens both trust and reliability. So they need to know that you're reliable. These few principles I've mentioned not only helped my clubs thrive and do well, but it also deepened the impact of my leadership. It really, really, really helped me reach that goal that I had for myself that year.
right.
Yeah.
And conclusively, or in conclusion, just one
Hey,
more
last
question.
question.
How did serving as area director contribute to your personal and professional growth? And is there anything else you'd like to share about your experience?
Serving as area director, I will be honest right now, and I hope that I can be vulnerable in this
Please
space.
be.
It was not always easy. There were moments when I had doubts, and then I questioned my life choices, my decision. Why? Oh, why did I take on this role, right? Because it was challenging. There were times when I had to have meetings late at night. I had to be with my daughter. I had other things to do because I was volunteering elsewhere. I had my full-time job. This was tasking. However, there was good news on the other side. And this is that it was also a transformative experience for me, pushing me beyond my wildest imaginations, right? It
Mm,
proved to be a life-changing experience. That's what it did because it changed my life. It changed my entire scope of leadership and the way I saw things. It significantly strengthened me, right? Coaching, public speaking, mentoring, and like I said, leadership as a whole. What was most important to me, or what stood out the most, was how it reinforced my belief in the power of mentorship and community in leadership. Community is something that you can't overemphasize because you need people and they need you as well,
Mm-hmm.
especially in a space like this where it's volunteering. You're not paying anybody to be there for you. You're not paying anyone to mentor you, but you need that community. So you're giving and you're getting in return as well. It was an incredible, rewarding journey for me, I would say. And I encourage anyone seeking to challenge themselves as well on this leadership journey to grow or to lead. I challenge them to embrace the opportunity. There's a lot waiting on the other side when you become an area director.
And when you open up yourself
Yes. And when you say yes to the opportunity.
and be a mother.
To as many clubs as possible.
As possible. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
this was
hoping,
fun. I really appreciate the opportunity to share my experience.
and we're going to have more of this, more and more. Thank you for sharing, for being
Let me know.
vulnerable, and for giving out all of this. We will keep in touch. We'll get back to you, and I'm hoping the audience gets as much value as I have gotten. Thank you
Absolutely.
so
My
much.
pleasure.
Thank you.